Welcome everybody to the next edition of Design Tip of the Month. You know, I love doing these because there's just little things that you can do all of the time. And the last time that I talked about sensory design and sensational design for sensational people, and that really we use all five of our senses when we experience the environments that we're in. And it is using all five of those senses that really gives us a full experience. And so I'm going to touch on a specific piece of that. I'm going to talk about light today. Light is something that is so taken for granted, I think. Unless there's a problem. So unless there's not enough light, or unless you have and are very sensitive to those, very big fluorescent lights. And I know that sometimes they're buzzing. Sometimes people get headaches from them. I personally was one that would get headaches from fluorescent lighting, especially in school. It was really challenging for me at times to be able to do that. But lighting is something that you can have complete control over and really create different ambiances in your space. And the first thing that I kind of want to talk about is natural light specifically. When you have the opportunity, if you can get natural light first thing in your day. Like when you wake up, if you could go out to a window or even be able to step outside and get as much sun exposure as possible. What that does is actually helps you balance your circadian rhythms and keeps you on a balanced trajectory, because we spend an awful lot of time in our lives working and just, at home or in the office, indoors. And having that burst of light first thing in the morning really helps our body's balance. But I also want to talk about, because we do spend a lot of time indoors, and the quality and quantity of light really affects our moods and can really change how we experience the spaces that we're in. And every space that we're in has a different mood that you, generally speaking, want to have in it. So sometimes we can affect that with the lighting, and it can really make or break the experience. So let's talk about that just a little bit. If you have a warmer light, say 2700 to 3000 Kelvin, and these are, I didn't know what Kelvin was really when I get started with the whole thing, but a lot of times when you look at your light bulbs, or you look at different lighting, they will have a rating on them on whether, on the Kelvin scale, how bright it is, and it can go all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin, I believe. So the warmer tones are lower on that scale, and those warmer tones will actually be more relaxing, calming. This is the places that you might want to have in your bedrooms. And you'll get this a lot in romantic restaurants, if you will, where you walk in and there's just that glow. Of course, every woman says that a good glow, it makes her skin look better, and she's happier about that. But it also gives a general sense of relaxation. Now, the more up you go with the light, the cooler the light is, which is a higher number. That actually is better for different tasks specific, because it increases your focus, your alertness. It basically makes you ready to do things. And this is why we don't want to have these bright, cool lights in places like our bedrooms as much, because all of a sudden, when you're ready to start relaxing in the day, all of a sudden you're now getting bright light that's telling you, I need to be alert. I need to be ready. So take the time to think about what you want to do in your spaces, and then you can set your light bulbs. And what you want to do is make sure that your light bulbs and the amount of balance between natural light and artificial light balances nicely. And works specifically. Maybe you want a warmer glow in a certain area, but you need some task lighting that is cooler. You can do that, but balance it out with your light bulbs. And so just think about some of those things. That is my tip this particular time, is think about your lighting, because it will change your mood and it will affect how you experience the space that you're in. Let's set ourselves up to experience our spaces at their optimum instead of being drained. That is the whole point of being able to take control of our environment and design specifically the life that we want to live.